Hi everyone, Andy here from Imagine Academy. Today we're going to be going over how to 3D print a couple models for an implant case. The first thing we're going to do is open up our STLs in 3D Sprint. So we're going to go to File, we're going to click Import, and then find our STL files. From here I'm going to be printing both my working base as well as my antagonist. Before we really get started, it's important to check that you have your materials properly selected. To do that, we're going to go over into Printer. We're going to make sure that we have our correct printer selected. We'll go ahead and click Next from there, and then select our material. In this case here, this is going to be Model 2.0 Peach. So there we'll click Next. We're going to then select the shade. Normally, for implant analog models, we want to make sure that we have the prosthodontic setting selected. Now what we're going to do is then just select both of our models and select Auto Place. It's going to give you the parameters for your auto placement. Minimum distance between objects set to 5 millimeters. The distance to the platform is 3. That's fine. We'll click Set. And we're pretty much good to go from here after we add our supports. One thing to note is if you ever notice any fitment issues between your model and your implant analogs, it's important to check that the implant analog cylinder is perpendicular to the build platform. Or if you think about it, each slice of your 3D print, you want to make sure that that circle of the implant analog cylinder is parallel to the build platform. So from here, to fix that, I'm going to click my model. I'm going to click Transform. And I'm going to go over to Rotate. And we can rotate our model based on the direction of our cylinder. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be close. Right, this looks pretty good. At that point, I'm going to close my transform window. We don't have to make any adjustments to our antagonist model. We're going to go over to Smart Support. I'm actually going to select both my models here and generate the supports at the same time. But I'm not going to combine them. So I'm going to keep them separate, and we'll go ahead and click Create Supports. From there, we can double check if we need to modify anything. I can see here that my working model, the supports are a little bit spare, so I'm going to add more. One thing to note is that we don't want any supports close to our implant analog cylinder. So if we notice any of those, we can remove them. Here, so we're going to go to the minus icon and select this one, and maybe we can add a couple more in that general area. Right, this looks pretty good. I'll then close out. We can double check that we have 2 green check marks next to each model. And we'll go ahead and send those to our printer.